So in this video, I actually want to talk about the sales process. To really just start the process, really it's get to know whether we're a good fit for you and whether you're a good fit for us. And so basically we start off with a phone conversation. So if you were to call and ask for a pond rebuild, so you've got an existing feature and you want it rebuilt, and we want to start taking the steps that direction. So basically what we do is you'll be speaking with Christy there in the office, and Christy's really great about capturing all the basic information that we need. What's the size of the feature? Do we have photos of the feature? Because the photos will actually help me later on in the process, and capturing all that necessary information that we need to see if we're a good fit. We'll generally talk about ballpark numbers on kind of what to expect for this size of feature. It would cost this amount. We would have that basic discussion, and then at that point we would create a schedule, put you on my schedule for me to call, and so we would have a discussion based on 5 different criteria, and of those 5 criteria we want to make sure that you guys are good to meet. We definitely want to meet and talk about it at the same time. Another criteria would be for us to kind of hammer out budget. So we would actually talk about numbers based on the size of feature and what is kind of like expected for that particular size. We would also talk about what's kind of expected with the process. As I go out there, I spend a lot of time, and so if I'm dedicating 2, 3, 4 hours out of my day, then that's absolutely necessary for me to charge something. I do charge a consultation fee. Now, in order for us to get to that point, sometimes I understand that not every person is my customer. I'm completely fine with that. But I do want to kind of lay down some ground rules in a way that just makes sense for everybody. Now, if you decide that, hey, this is out of my budget, I am completely fine with that. I would rather hear it over the phone that, hey, you're just not in our budget right now, than for me to come out and spend hours and hours to find out that this is not your budget. What does it look like when the job's approved and we want to start the process? So what we dive into is basically schedule. If it's spring months that we get into, we could be 2-3 months out in the spring. If it's the dead of winter, we could probably do it next week type of thing. So it's very, very much hit and miss, depending on the time of year. So anywhere between 1 and 2 months is where we're booked out. So definitely it's good to get on that list early. And what we do is we actually schedule a couple different appointments. The first appointment is actually what we call a pre-job. Now, what's a pre-job? So pre-job is all the elements that requires us to start the job. Whether we want to order some materials and deliver materials and get everything arranged in a way that we're ready to go on day one. We also talk about other parameters like whether the crew can use the restrooms, or if there's a dog that we need to be aware of. Whether it's problematic for us to show up too early in the morning, and anyway, we talk about all those little things. So I want to share that with our foreman. And so if I'm sharing that with a foreman, we're basically going to have a set form that we actually basically with you as the homeowner and our foreman and myself, the sales guy, that we all are all together in one meeting, and we basically talk about logistics. Now we actually start ordering the materials, and so we order the materials. Generally it takes us anywhere between a number of days to even several weeks. So that's why we try and do it with that first appointment, that pre-job appointment, at least about 2 to 3 weeks ahead of the actual day that we started the job. And then after that, then we actually start the job. So we actually do the job, and then halfway into the job we we want to follow up and say, hey, is this kind of meeting your expectations? This is where we're at, that sort of thing. So when we're done with the job, we actually do a post job. And so a part of that post job is covering all the details, whether you know the function of the skimmer, the biofall, how often to clean it, and all the little maintenance stuff that we want to incorporate into it, whether you have other devices, lighting, plants, fish. We go through the whole gamut, and we want to make sure that you know everything there is to know about your specific pond. We basically kind of go through a final review, making sure that we've got, the patio was cleaned, the whole property was cleaned up, and everything was taken care of. So after all that is done, we actually want to do a follow-up, and so we'll do like a 3-day follow-up where we're just making sure that the pond is good, and then we'll do like a 3-week follow-up, and then we'll do a 3-month follow-up. And so just to confirm everything looks good, the pond isn't getting green or getting out of control, and so we want to just stay on top of that sort of thing. So follow-ups are very, very important. And so anyway, that's kind of like the gist of what a pre-job, the actual job itself, and a post-job kind of look like. If you like today's video, please let me know, and like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching.